Isn't he fun?
Yeah, I talk a lot.
I think I asked one question so far, and we're 20 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I know.
Well, so where does that drive and ambition come from? Is that a natural DNA thing? Is it were your parents like that? I know you kind of alluded to your father and grandfather kind of being.
They were hustlers.
Yeah.
It was ingrained in my blood.
Yeah.
You know, I feel it was. I'm a firm believer that it is, in that sense, to some people, it's nurture more than nature. You know, because I watched my dad as a kid. Every morning, I remember getting up on the weekends, and my dad had already been up, and it was like 6:30. My dad had already been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, and he worked in the warehouse at a headwear company. And on the weekends, he took a bunch of hats home and would use these like old school like screen print like presses and put patches on them. And then him and my mom would go sell them at the swap meet on the weekends, right? So my mom could stay home with us, right? So like he did all that and then worked on the weekend. So I just always saw him getting up, you know, and working while everybody else was still asleep. And I just saw that. And then my grandfather, he worked in downtown LA, but they lived in Orange County because he didn't want to raise his kids in like downtown LA. And so he left for work every morning at 3:30 in the morning. So I remember him always just telling me stories about, you know, just all the different things he saw in downtown LA and how crazy it is at 4 in the morning driving through downtown LA, you know, and things like that. And this is like in the, you know, late 80s and early 90s and stuff at the time. And so there wasn't any other option. It was just like, that's what guys did, right? There was no, and my dad's brother was a physician and he worked super hard, and it was just always around me as that. And it was never, it's not like my dad made a bunch of money. I think people a lot of times think of success in a monetary standpoint. Like, you know, I think in my mind, success is somebody that just works hard and rises above where their like slot was in life, right? Like, you know, if somebody's slot was here and they rose up here, that's being successful. If you're given your slot at, you know, hey, I'm born as a millionaire, and you end up a millionaire, well, you didn't do anything. Like you stayed stagnant. You just didn't lose what you were given,
right?
You know, and so yeah, you know, but it's also kind of as my wife like always jokes around, but like it's a really good thing, but it's also can be a problem because it's an obsession. I can't turn it off.